Star, are you ready?
I'm a lady.
And welcome to iDOL Days, a show about idol anime. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Star.
And we're back with Cursed Idol October, baby.
Cursed Idol October.
So, Star,
Mm-hmm.
I thought we'd do something fun. We'll do something similar to our last episode, okay? Where I'm going to have you imagine a scenario.
Okay, I'm imagining. I've turned on the imagination.
Okay. I would like you to imagine a group of girls.
Okay.
And they are trying to learn more about idol culture.
Mm-hmm.
And they just talk about idol metas and idol anime. And they tend to devolve into chaos and just make references to things that don't matter. And that is both our show and Devidol.
Oh! You zagged on me.
I zagged on you.
How could you curse me like this? How could you place a curse on me during this Cursed Idol October, Sarah? This is the worst thing you could have possibly have done to me on our episode of our podcast. Idol Days, the show about idol anime.
/ Devidol episode. So,
no.
Hello, everyone. I have found one of our white whales of Cursed Idol October, and I'm so excited to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. And you should really talk about it because Sarah said before we started recording that it is going to be a struggle to make this episode longer than 20 minutes.
It 100% is. So, Star, you're the one who found out that this show existed. How did you find out this show existed?
So there is a webbed site somewhere on the internet. I think at one point, like either before or during the early days of the podcast, where I was trying to compile a list of all the different shows that we could watch. And this was kind of before there were like 10 idol series that were coming out with every single season of anime. Mm-hmm. Because that's the state we're in now, and we're never gonna catch up. This podcast, we'll be doing this podcast until we are lowered into the ground.
Yep.
And
resurrected as zombie girls.
There we go. There we go. We've done it. Meta. The Idol Days meta. And so I found this one website where it's like every single piece of idol-related animated media, but they included things like every single like individual music video from Love Live with like its own entry. And I'm like, okay, this is excessive. But okay, sure, I'll read through like every single entry of this thing to like see if there's anything I missed. And I did discover a couple shows there that I wouldn't have known about otherwise. One of them was Devidol, and I saw it and I immediately thought, well, this is the most cursed looking thing I've ever seen. Cursed and also inexplicably hard to find.
Yes.
There was no record of this show really existing aside from like a handful of articles about it. There was like a video on YouTube showing the opening and the ending, and that was like it.
Yep.
There was nothing for this show to the point where I thought, this maybe does not actually exist. And then apparently Sarah just found it.
Well, I've been searching our last two Cursed Idol Octobers because I'm like, I really want to talk about Devidol, but I haven't been able to find it. I'm guessing like maybe last year some random fan translated it. It's not localized by anyone legally. So
I can't imagine it will ever be either. You haven't even told me about it, and I know that this show is like the people who made it probably want to forget that it exists.
Well, I mean, it's okay. So we'll talk a little bit about how this show exists. How about that first?
Please tell me about this very cursed show, and you should describe what it looks like first.
Yes,
too,
absolutely. So first of all, it's all 3D and about 5 frames per second.
I think 5 is maybe a little generous.
They don't move very much. It's very, very choppy.
It looks like the jankiest stop motion imaginable.
It is very janky looking stop motion.
Can I make it a comparison?
Yes.
The environments, from what I've seen, just like in the opening and ending, the environments look like Baby's first Blender project.
Well, something that I saw pointed out when I looked into it is a lot of the assets are like MMD
I was gonna say it fucking looks like MMD. It looks like fucking Miku Miku dance videos from like the mid 2000s.
So
that I used to watch on YouTube as a teenager.
I did a lot of research because I'm like, this episode's not gonna be a lot, so we're gonna look into it. And
we're
apparently,
gonna deep dive into Devidol of all shows.
Yes, apparently it was created in Cinema 4D, but there are MMD assets, so there's that. The episodes themselves are 15 minutes long, including the opening, which is about 1.5 minutes, and the ending, about 1.5 minutes. And then with our remaining 12-ish minutes, the episodes are split into 3 sections.
Okay.
First, we have a plot section for the first 4 minutes.
Okay.
And then in the middle, we have a learning about idol thing section. And then the last 4 minutes, we have the voice actors being VTubers.
You can't hear it, but I'm facepalming right now.
So, the last 4 minutes are completely improv. From my understanding, this was broadcast as a web show, so I don't know if they were live broadcasting as VTubers or if this is something that they just recorded, but it's definitely improv.
Yeah, like the other comparison I was gonna draw to the characters is they look like baby's first V-Roid model.
Yes.
Which, if you're unfamiliar, I'm going to dive into just like a little tiny bit. If you've seen a 3D VTuber, you've probably seen a V-Roid model. They kind of have like, your very first V-Roid models tend to use like the same face assets. It's like the default face, and especially the mouth is very recognizable. And so it's very recognizable as like, oh, that's a V-Roid model. This kind of gives me that vibe.
It might be. I don't know how they made the characters.
I don't think they are. I think I'm not sure how old V-Roid is as a software.
Probably pre-2018 though, you're thinking.
I would imagine, yeah. So let me, I'm going to actually look this up. It has a 50% rating on this website, Anime News Network. This show does not have a spin-off. What the? No.
So there is a spin-off mini web show, but the original concept for these characters is absolutely cursed. Do you know it, Star?
I do not.
So our main character, she was a mascot for a pachinko parlor in Akihabara.
I do know that much.
And so the pachinko parlor basically commissioned this anime to just get more content and people to come to their pachinko parlor.
Yeah, which is like why we probably had a hard time finding it, because it's just so dumb.
Just gambling. That's all it is.
Gambling. It's a gambling advertisement.
Yep. So these are our pachinko girls. And I guess at this point we might as well get into it because we can discuss more later or as we go.
Sure.
But while I get into it, I'm going to introduce the characters, but actually something that's very important about all the characters is they're all voiced by really great voice actresses.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So our first main character, our center, is Ira. She has red hair and like these twin tails, but kind of like a Rin from Fate thing where like it's twin tails up and some down. All of the girls have little devil wings. They wear school uniforms for the first half of the episode, and the second half of the episode, they have cute little like devil idol outfits. And Ira is voiced by Mimorine, the voice actress, who is Umi in Love Live, and Hikari in Review Starlight and Earth Precure. Yeah. And okay, and now here's the thing where I talk about these voice actors being good. And remember, the last 4 minutes of every episode is completely improv. Here's the thing. The concept is cursed. The visuals are cursed. But I actually thought the show was pretty funny.
Yeah?
It actually was pretty funny. And I think it was largely carried by the voice actresses.
It seems like, based on what you've told me, yeah.
So next we have Shima. She's our blue one. She has long blue hair.
She looks exactly like Umi Love Live, but rendered in terrible 3D.
Yes, but she's not voiced by Umi Love Live, because that's our Ira. Shima, however, is voiced by Yuka Yaguchi. She's the OG Haruka from the original Idolmaster game. She's Hinata in A Place Further Than the Universe. She's Lily in Grand Blue. She's Lucery in Room Factory 5. So she's done a lot.
Oh, shit.
So also
I love how you drop in the Rune Factory 5 thing specifically for me and me only.
All of these ladies have like a shit ton of sorry, I can't curse in our show.
Sarah, what do you mean we can't curse on our show?
Cursed
I
Idol
got the
October.
F-bomb like 5 times an episode minimum. I have like a quota. I keep a tally when we're recording. I gotta say bad words at least so many times or they're gonna kick me off the show.
It's true. So like, again, they all have a lot of voice acting like roles and talents, but I mostly wrote down ones that you Star would recognize. So I had to put Rune Factory on there.
Of course, thank you.
It's so
thank
important.
you for pandering to me specifically.
And our last of our 3 girls, there's only 4 characters in this show, like at all, so it's way easier than other ones. Our last of our 3 main characters is Hana. She has blonde hair and a bob. She has big bajongles. She's the shy soft girl.
Okay. I feel like I know her very well already.
Yep. She's voiced by Kana Hanazawa, who is like Angel in Angel Beats. She's Shirase in A Place Further Than the Universe. And she's also My Zombieland Saga. So,
hey.
Yeah.
Nice.
All of these ladies, very talented, do a lot of good work, very funny at improv.
I love it. Like, it's cursed, but I love it, actually.
Yes. It's exactly the vibe I got from him. Like, the whole time I watched him, like, I do not understand what this show is. And just further context, this is another one that's just a straight up comedy show. So like some of the other comedy shows we've talked about, I'm not going to explain all the jokes because they won't be funny. But also in addition, a lot of the jokes are very Japanese. So I knew that I was not understanding a joke, but I knew it was a joke, you know?
Yeah, I was like... This feels like a joke, but I don't get it.
And a lot of them were like puns on Japanese words. And I'm like, well, once I understood it from like the translations, it's not funny anymore because the joke is being explained to me.
Like, oh.
Yes.
Ah.
And then our last character, I put this in quotes, is their teacher, Rocket Sensei.
Yeah, who the fuck is this?
He's their teacher.
You sent me this picture, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what the fuck is this?
He looks
like not a character. This is like a.
He looks like a Minecraft
paper doll model. He looks like a Minecraft.
He's all blocky. He's their teacher. He's like the host of the show, and from what I could tell, I don't think he is voice acted by anyone who has done voice acting stuff. I think he's just like a TV host personality. So he's there as our host. And he's Rocket Sensei. He looks like a Minecraft. He has like neon teal hair and striped pants. And he always has like a very blank expression on his face.
Like a Minecraft.
Like a Minecraft.
You could make a Minecraft skin of this and it would look very similar.
Speaking of Minecraft, when I was watching the first episode, we go into the situation.
Okay.
And they're talking about their school, and in the background there's this cute music playing, and my wife Athena was next to me, and she's like, isn't that the nighttime music from Minecraft playing in the background? And it was.
How did they not get in trouble for that? What? What?
So this is where we are on this Cursed Idol anime right now. The very beginning. We just went straight into it.
How did they not... Did they just not know? Does Minecraft, entity created by Hatsune Miku, did they just not know about this anime and so they didn't know to sue them?
Oh, it's okay. Hatsune Miku's in here too.
Yeah. Well, she did create Minecraft.
So basically, you get, again, there's not a lot of plot, but I'm going to give you the plot we have, right?
Sure.
So,
yeah.
We find out that these girls all live in the devil world. They're living in hell, right?
Mm-hmm. Is that like the Nether in Minecraft?
Mm-hmm, exactly. And
disclosure, I've never played Minecraft and I probably never will.
And they are all attending this school, all 3 of them. And the school is a demon girls school. And basically the goal is before you graduate, you have to figure out how you want to take over the human world. And then once you figure that out, you're allowed to graduate, right?
Uh-huh.
And so they're all sitting around and they're like, well, we're about to graduate. We have to figure it out soon so we can graduate. What should we do? So they're all in there and they're filling out their career surveys on what they should do next to try to figure out how to take over the world. But they can't figure it out because they're like, if it's too hard, the rules are too loose, because this is apparently the only thing they have to do in school. Everything else doesn't matter. They make up their own rules. It's the netherworld. Who cares, right?
Uh-huh.
So they're like, the rules are too loose. How do you take over the human world? And then they notice that Shima, our Umi Love Live one, has a magazine in her bag. And the magazine is about idols in the human world. And they look through it. And they're like, Shima, you're a genius. Because, you know, these idols, they have all these fans that are basically brainwashed and they're slaves. We could do that too. We could take over the human world by becoming idols. Yay, brainwashing.
I feel like I've watched this show already.
And that's the thing, though, is it's so, like, on the nose funny. Like, it's just power. It's a powerful show. It's hard to explain, but it's very much like oh yeah, people go too hard on their idols and they're brainwashed and the demons are going to take advantage of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we get their opening song, which is one of 2 songs you ever hear in the anime. And actually the opening, like the music is actually pretty good.
Oh.
Which, I mean, again, I think it's benefited by the fact that the voice actresses are good, so the singing is good. It's like happy, like cute pop. It's just it's a happy song about being like, we're devils, we're gonna take over the world, yay! You know, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was our first section, which is the girls decide they want to be idols. There's our plot, right? Mm-hmm. And now we move to the middle section, which is where we get them learning how to be idols. And so in this middle section, this is where we meet their sensei, Rocket Sensei. And
Minecraft.
He's all like, hey, great idea. Idols are the best way to become like popular demons who are brainwashing their fans. Like, they're so popular, like there's AKB but you know, like they're censored out. And he's like, there's 48 AKB 48 and they're all popular. And there's like a little joke where someone's like, isn't there 48 too many idols? And he's like, actually there's over 300 of them, but we're not going to talk about right now. And then they're like, that's too many girls. And I'm like, that is too many girls show.
It's almost like we've had this conversation before. many times on our podcast. Sarah, is this show secretly about us?
That's the fucking thing. As I started watching it, I'm like, I think this is funny. And I'm like, wait, it's just kind of our content in an anime with cursed animation.
Sarah, what I'm reading from this, what I'm hearing is that we need to go ahead and just greenlight the Idol Days anime.
I think we gotta.
It's just like a Lucky Star type of, we just talk about idol anime and it's animated for some fucking reason.
I think we just do what this show did and just V-roid YouTube ourselves while we
Sarah,
record.
we can do better than that. I already have a VTuber model. You make yours and then I've got a Twitch channel.
There we go.
Fucking start doing the podcast live.
I don't think anyone wants to hear our non-edited version with all of the burps and hiccups.
Oh, for sure. But still, it's an option available to us.
It is possible.
Burps, hiccups, 10-minute feed the cats breaks.
Yep. That's what you're missing out on, folks.
Yep.
But then he's like, so to become idols, we're going to have daily lessons. And your first lesson is we're going to have a handshake event. And he calls it a shake meet. And so then the girls are like, what's a shake meet? And Rocket Sensei's like, well, you girls got to figure it out on your own. That's how you'll become good devils. So he leaves them and they're all like left with just the words shake meet. And then they just make a bunch of puns off of it, right?
Fair.
Some of them are in Japanese. Some of them are not, like actually literally shaking meat, like in English. It kind of devolves to a point where they like have like a shogi match, like shogi meat. And then at the end of the shogi match, they like shake each other's hands because they're like, yes, good job, you're a good challenger. And then like the teacher shows up and he's like, you got it, you figured it out.
Okay.
And so that's our middle part. That was our lesson part of our first episode. And then we have our last part of the episode, which is just our improv idol girls going at it. And it's just goofy and it's fun, but it's hard to explain. It's like they show them a picture and it's like name and like come up with the name of the album based off of this picture. And I'm assuming it's a real album. And then they just make up a funny bunch of goofy stuff, right? So, goofy ending. And that's our Devidol episode 1.
Well, we managed to stretch that into 20 minutes.
We did it!
We might get a full hour out of this anime.
Maybe. And we do also get an ending. The ending is pretty cute. For the TV clip, you only get like one line of them singing and the rest is just cute instrumentals. Apparently there's a long version. I found it on YouTube. You don't hear it a lot.
愛に誓って愛らに誓ってアイドルには絶対にもらないの
All right.
Schrodinger's anime ending.
So, episode 2, it starts out with Shima, our blue one, and Ira, the pink one, and they're fighting because Ira was doing a crossword puzzle and Shima gave her an answer, but Ira wanted to figure it out on her own. So, Ira quits. She's like, I'm quitting the idol group. Bye.
Oh, that was fast.
And so, Shima and Hana are looking at each other and they're like, well, we need to find a new member. So they put up a bunch of flyers around the school and they hold auditions. And day of the audition, Ira is the only one who auditions because apparently the 3 of them are the only ones who go to that school.
Yep.
So they ask her like,
Sarah, we can't have more characters because then they have to model and voice cast more characters.
It's true. And I'm pretty much sure this is a 0 budget show anyways. So
yeah.
So then they like go in and they like ask her questions like, why did you want to be an idol? And it's like all very over the top answers like, well, it's not really about the fame. It's just about making my fans happy and making myself like very typical idol responses. And they're all like, oh yes, that's so moving. That's so perfect. Right. And then like Sensei would come in and explain like, oh yeah, idols always say this shit basically.
Yeah.
So in the end, they confer and they're like, we've decided to accept you. It's a pleasure to meet you. We look forward to working with you. So Ira has returned to the idol group.
Yay! Da, 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 da.
And then in the middle, it's our lesson time. Sensei is telling them that idols, as part of being an idol, you have to have really good reactions when people say something to you, right? And so, like, for example, it's like, I'm going to give you a present, and you have to react and seem very excited and enthusiastic and original about receiving this present, right? So they all try it out, and then they kind of, like, are mediocre at it. So then Sensei sends them into the air on a death slide, and they react to the presents on the slide, and they do good. The end.
I feel like this is something that Sarah, we should do the lessons.
Okay,
because we gotta be idols too. We gotta be idols too. Let's do it. This is now a variety show.
Okay, we did it. All right, Star. So the thing he gives them are little mugs. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a mug as a present. Here you go, Star.
I don't see it.
It's right there. I just gave it to you.
Right. I don't. Are you? How are you reaching to me from Atlanta?
There you go. Yep. Here's your mug.
Oh, are you faxing it to me?
Yes.
Oh, well, the fax machine's in the other room, so hang on. Let me just. Oh my god!
Star, I'm so glad you liked it. Now
I did.
Do I?
It's a mug.
Do I get anything in return?
Here's a jar full of dice.
It's fine. Thanks, Star.
Oh, okay.
I guess.
I mean, these are the dice that almost killed you in D&D last night, but okay, it's fine, I guess.
I remember that.
How'd you enjoy playing Tremors? Oh no!
Wonderful.
Now everyone knows what day we recorded this episode.
Dun dun.
Oh
no! And at the very end of this episode, they do the live response quiz. This one's like a pose quiz, like different idol poses, and some of them get rather sexual, and there's lots of bleeps, so pretty fun.
Okay.
Next
but
episode.
Sarah, my say-so idols can't be this raunchy. Oh no.
That's why they're censored.
Oh, I see.
All right, moving on to episode 3. I'm going to just put a little note on the production of this show, where apparently when it first aired, whatever studio they were broadcasting from accidentally showed episode 4 before episode 3, right? And this is like basically the only news I could find about this show in the Western speaking world. Like everything else I've told you so far is from me like searching Devidol in Japanese and using Google Translate to figure out the interviews. This one is the only thing I found on the Western world, is that episodes 3 and 4 were switched up. And like I found like a Reddit post about it, and everyone's like, oh no, that's so sad for the production team. I hope it didn't cause too much confusion. And I'm like, you guys didn't watch the show. It doesn't matter. You can put this into whatever order you want. It doesn't matter.
I mean, that's kind of the thought that I had. So, I mean, yeah.
So this episode, they are back at school because every episode starts with them at school. And they're like, and Ira's like, you know how it is when like you have a favorite food and you could eat that favorite food every single day, but after a while it stops becoming your favorite food and you have to switch things up. We should do that too, because if we're the same every time, then we won't gain as many idol fans, right? So they're like, okay, so what we'll do is we'll put different like character archetypes in a box and we'll draw lots. And once we draw the character archetype, that'll be our new character archetype for when we're idols to get more fans, right?
Okay.
It ends up being pure chaos. Like the first group is like a Kansai accent and someone who's obsessed with their older brother and someone who always answers questions like they're on a quiz show, which again, voice actresses make it funny. Then it's just they try again and it just is like the Shima gets a character that's can deliver a final blow by striking a forehead, and she does kill Ira, but they're demons, so it doesn't matter at the end.
How could you say that it doesn't matter, Sarah? These rich, interwoven characters. One of them just died.
It is. Okay, and so our next one is our lesson time. And at this lesson, they are told that idols a lot of times have to go on shows where they're told to like taste something, and they have to describe the taste to the audience in a way that makes the audience feel like they're tasting it itself. Like we've talked about this in Cinderella Girls, and we're talking about it in Devidol.
Oh,
and so Hana, our yellow uwu one, she whips up some cooking, but they're in the demon realm, so it's like very cursed food essentially, and she's like, here, try this and make it look good. And Ira and Shima go for it. So Star, I made you some pizza if you look under your desk.
I was expecting dinosaur nugget curry, but okay.
Nope, I ate all of that.
Oh, how dare you.
So Star, if you could take a bite of my pizza, please. Please describe it to our audience.
Okay, I'm taking a bite of the pizza now. That's pizza. Now, Sarah, you've included some interesting toppings on here. Would you like to discuss your choice of toppings on this pizza?
So I was taking some notes, so that's what the pencil sharpenings are. I just thought I'd make it a little crunchy.
Yeah, yeah, no, it definitely adds like a weird kind of sawdusty flavor. And now I'm also curious about the, what are these right here?
Oh, that's easy. Those are, that's some cat food. Cause like.
Oh, okay.
Well, cause my cats, I feed them really well and they seem very healthy, and I figured it'd make you healthy too.
Oh,
Plus you could share with your cats.
Oh, well, yeah, the cats, they are here, and they are trying to get a hold of this pencil shaving and cat food pizza.
Yep. Oh, and I put pineapples on it because pineapple belongs on pizza.
Oh, okay. See, I have no strong feelings about pineapple argument one way or the other. But you guys, our listeners, should fight it out in the comment section and drive that engagement. Hey, babes!
Hey!
And then, there's also, like, chocolate on here. I've had chocolate pizza before, but it adds, like, a weird, unexpected sweetness to it.
Yes, that is definitely chocolate. For sure.
Please don't make... Listen, I know improv is all about yes and, but I am drawing a hard line. I actually have had chocolate on pizza before. It's like dessert pizza at like Mr. Gaddy's here in Austin. Surprisingly good.
Ah, there you go.
It's not bad.
So, in the end, our girls do wonderful, actually.
Oh, I don't get to feed you.
You can feed me. You can feed me. What did you make me?
Okay, Sarah, if you reach into your computer screen right now, I have made you a cake.
Star!
A delicious
shouldn't
cake.
have. Let me chew it.
Well, I did.
Okay, I'm gonna chew.
See, the thing about this cake is that if you chew it...
It's so light and fluffy.
It will dissolve your teeth, though, so you do want to be careful with that. I did mix in a lot of acid into that, like the actual physical chemical acid, not like the drug acid. I couldn't afford that.
Even though my teeth are gone, it really isn't hard because I don't need to bite, you know? Because it's so soft. It's like melting your mouth soft.
See, the cake comes with the, like, assembly ingredients of this is best enjoyed when you have no teeth.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it kind of does the hard work for you, and then you get to, like, really just snack on that flavor.
And the flavor is out of this world, Star. I can't even describe it. It describes, like, the feeling you get when you find out that the pickles you bought were 50 cents on sale.
Well, it's funny that you describe them as out of this world because what you are tasting is space dust. That I gathered myself. I went into space.
Because you're a star.
Because I am a star, yes. Okay, here, Sarah. I'm going to cast a magical spell on you that will give you your teeth back because I can't listen to you doing this voice any longer.
Oh, wow. Wonderful. I can't wait to take another bite of that cake.
Oh, God damn it. Sarah, I've only got one spell slot and you just used it.
So our girls also do wonderful describing things, but then Hana describes exactly what they ate, which is like the rump of a merman who is like a middle-aged salaryman merman, and they all puke. The end.
Oh, okay. So they ate ass.
Exactly. And then Hana's like, and now it's my turn to do an impression on, or like to do a reaction on eating things. So she like takes a bite of like a toasty bread slice, but the toasty bread slice was actually the surface of a small planet and destroys an entire civilization. The end.
Oh. Cool.
And then at the end, again, we have our iDOL our voice actor improv section. So they do that. It's about different types of ways to hold microphone poses, but it definitely devolves into like a picture of like a microphone and a lady getting married, you know, microphone holding poses.
Sure, yeah. You know, like you do.
So next episode.
Uh-oh.
So all of our girls are talking at school, the three of them. And Shima's like, you know, we should start working on our debut song, but while we're doing that, we also need to think about how we want to appear on stage. And Ira's like, yeah, we really have to figure out like what our image colors are going to be, because that's a big difference for how our fans support us, right?
Very, very important part of being an iDOL, yes.
And so then she's like, well, I guess I'm red and Hana's yellow and Shima's blue because that's our hair color. That's probably that, right? But then Ira's like, but you know, I went to this fortune teller and she told me that my lucky color was yellow. So I was thinking about yellow. And then Shima's like, well, that's surprising because the red ones are always the leader. I thought you'd want to be red. And Ira's like, actually, she told me red because I'm a leader. So the little joke about the red ones always being the leaders.
Because clearly I having the red image color and the leader of this group, but Sarah's also the pink one, which is kind of like red, and a lot of times idol shows will have either a red or a pink main character. So I think that's actually kind of fitting.
Yes, and actually they start talking about like, well, what if we all were red because we all want to be main characters? And they're like, we could do different shades of red. And then they're like, but won't that just make us look like a sushi platter? And I'm like, yeah, delicious.
Oh, Sarah, are we sushi?
We're sushi.
Oh.
And then they're like, well, what if we used a dartboard and changed our colors every single day? But like the center of the dartboard was like, there's like around the edges were like blue, yellow, red, and then the inside was death. So they're like, that's probably not a good idea to use that dartboard. And then Hana's like, what if we just all three of us wore all three colors at the same time? What if we wore red, yellow, and blue as stripes? And I'm like, wake up, girls.
Wake up, girls. They're making the piss rainbows all over again. Let's fucking go.
And the girls do say that they're horribly ugly, but I'm just like, candy cane.
Eat shit, Sarah.
You have the same opinions as Devidol Star. How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel pretty good because now you are in the minority and I am the winner. Ha 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 ha.
So then it's lesson time, and this lesson is where they have to make music videos. So this one will be a little harder for us to do as a lesson. But basically they sing to the tune of the opening theme song about their color. So I was like, I love red. I love sailing in the red rose flowers and eating my favorite red ramen. And then Hana interjects and she's like, yes, I like eating your red ramen next to my favorite green ramen. And they're like, you ruined it, Hana, right? Mm-hmm. And then Shima's turn, and hers is blue. It's like, I love being blue, and I love the bright blue sky and the bright blue ocean. And then Hana comes in and she's like, and the ocean where you get chased by a shark and eaten and there's blood in the water that's so red. And they're like, Hana, you ruined it again. And so
God fucking damn it, Hana.
And so then it's Hana's turn, and Aira and Shima are like, we're gonna fuck up her song like she fucked ours up, right? And so Hana's like, I love yellow, I'm flying on a bumblebee. And then they're like, and then you fly through some yellow poop. And she's like, and then they come out more sparkling and yellow than ever before. And they just keep going on like that, basically. So Hana wins the lesson.
Now, Sarah, here's the thing, is that while we can't make music videos like this, I have casually mentioned this on our podcast, I do have a past, a history, a secret, deep, dark past, where I did make anime music videos and post them on YouTube.
Oh, AMV time.
So here's just a little star aside, because we are trying to lengthen this episode. So back in the day, I didn't know how to download full episodes of anime from the internet. I didn't know that was a thing you could do. So the only footage I had access to was the anime footage that I could rip from the DVDs that I owned. Mm-hmm. And I had approximately 3 DVDs of anime, because this was back in the day when you had to spend like $40 for 4 episodes of anime on a single disc. Mm-hmm. And so I would buy those and I would like rip them to my parents' computer, and they were all DVDs of Azumanga. Mm-hmm. And so that was the only anime I could make AMVs for, was Azumanga AMV.
Out of all of them, it's not a bad thing to AMV.
No, it's really not. But here's the thing. I just used like whatever random audio I could find. I made a couple of AMVs to like Naruto openings. Oh. And
Powerful.
like some of this shit. And so before I knew that you could just straight download the audio onto the computer, what I would do is I would get a microphone and a pair of headphones.
Oh no.
And I would plug in the headphones and I would play the music through the headphones super duper loudly. And I would put the microphone right next to it and then record the audio that was playing on the computer right back into the computer with like the voice recorder.
Ooh, so crunchy.
And I would use that audio to make AMVs.
And you're going to share them on our website.
I don't think they still exist.
A shame, a shame, a shame.
My magnum opus was a 3-part AMV, because, you know, back in the day, YouTube videos could only be so long. I made a 3-part AMV with Azumanga Daioh to the song Albuquerque by Weird Al. An 11-minute song, so I had to split it into 3 parts. Like how we used to watch anime in the olden times on YouTube in 3 parts.
Oh, beautiful
so
star.
I did that. And I remember at some point part 1 got taken off of YouTube, and so then it was like only part 2 and 3 left, and I kept getting comments, are you ever gonna re-upload this? And I was just like, I don't have the files anymore. I deleted the working files off my computer, so it has officially been lost to time.
A tragedy.
But I am gonna do like a real cash search on YouTube, because
Yeah.
I don't still have the login info.
Yeah, do it. So let's move on with Devidol. Episode
go.
5, they all talk about how they need to be more unique as idols. So what if they became idols that also played instruments in a band?
Ah, yes, their Bang Dream arc.
This is their Bang Dream arc. So then they discuss what instruments each of them could play. And Aina's like, I can play castanets. And Hana's like, I can play the triangle. And then she was like, we can't all play kindergartner instruments, pick something else. So then Ira's like, well, I can play the vuvuzela. And so we do get some vuvuzela, Devidol idol time. And one of the other instruments was Ira's like, here, listen to me crack my knuckles. And she cracks them a lot. And I'm like, oh, it's starring my wife, the crickets.
Sarah.
You can make fart noises with your hands. I remember this.
Sarah, they're all still here. They're all still here. How do these fucking videos have thousands of views?
Star is going to share her Azumanga Daioh YouTube videos in our Discord. Look forward to it when this episode airs.
Oh my god. Like, Azumanga Daioh Albuquerque Part 2 has 10,000 views on YouTube. 10,000 views! Sarah, I haven't watched this. Can we make this part of the episode that we just live react to this?
I don't have a way to do that at the same time as I record Star because of the laptop placement.
Oh, that's
So,
right. Well, I have sent it to you. All
will
these
look at it
videos
later.
so here's the thing is that all these videos are private.
Oh no.
But I did yeah.
Wonderful.
They are all here, and they're, oh god, there's like some dumb shit. Oh my god. I did like Monty Python. I lip synced the videos to Monty Python audios.
Oh god.
So that's the thing. Oh god. What day? I need to know the date this was uploaded.
Watch it be like 5 years ago and then it's an embarrassment.
No. This was like fucking middle school shit. When was the original upload date? Does it say anywhere? Load the page, YouTube! Jesus Christ, I know no one has watched it. 2006!
Early YouTube.
2006. Well, that's what I was doing. Back then. Oh, God.
So look for us on social media, Discord, and our website to find some.
No.
Watch those videos.
Illegal. We can't.
So in the end, Ira and Hana keep coming up with more situations on instruments they can play. But then Shima's like, what about like guitar or bass or drums? And like Ira's like, I can't play the drums because like what if I'm playing and some guy walks onto the stage and he's too busy looking at his phone and I whack him and he falls into the audience and he dies. Drums are too dangerous, right? Mm-hmm. And then Hana's like, well, I can't play the guitar because like what about when I smash my guitar on the stage at the end? What if some guy comes in because he's sliding to get to home base on his baseball thing and I slide it on the bottom of the stage and he gets killed? Guitars are too dangerous too. And so then they're like, well, I guess we'll just be normal idols and not band idols at the end.
Being in a band is dangerous. That's what I've learned.
So our middle situation is another lesson. And like our first lesson, Sensei just comes in and he's like, we're going to do some Cheki Hanbai. Good luck figuring out what that is, girls. Bye, right? And they're just a bunch of puns on what Checky Hanbai could be. What do you think it is, Star?
I mean, I know that Checkies are like the little Polaroids.
Yeah, you got it.
I got it.
Hanbai is just like sales, so it's Polaroid sales. One of the
Gotcha.
jokes was like Che Guevara Hanbai, and it was like, oh, there
No.
he is.
Shake who?
The Cuban revolutionary.
Oh.
Wonderful, right?
Yeah, I think is what it stands for, actually.
So then they like take sample Checky Hanbai, so sample Checkies, but unfortunately they're all devils, so all the photos are haunted. There's ghosts around them, and Shima just straight up doesn't show up in photos at all. And they're like, well, we guess we can't do this after all.
Beepity 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 to haunt a Polaroid watch.
Yep. However, at the very end, we do have like the improv idol quiz show, right? And it's just about like give reasons why bands would break up, right? Star, give me a reason why a band might break up.
Death.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sarah, give me a reason why a band would break up.
If one of them really, really, really had to go to the bathroom, and like after they went to the bathroom, they just like forgot they were in a band because they were so relieved.
Oh, yeah, that's happened to me before.
You just forget about everything. You're like, oh, I just feel nice. I'm gonna lay down for a while.
Yeah, that shit was like so satisfying. I need to rethink my entire life.
I don't know why I'm making so many bathroom jokes. I'm fine.
This happened to me before. That's a realistic expectation.
There we go. All right, next episode. This is, so now the girls start talking about like, well, being a mainstream idol can be really hard and it's really easy to fail. So as backup, why don't we work on being underground idols? And they're like, well, how do we go through a day as underground idols? And they're like, well, here's our schedule. Is first we're going to wake up with an SNS greeting to our fans, like a little hello message. And just wanted to mention that they all have like little Instagram usernames you can see, and Ira's Instagram is Ira_420, and I'm like, Japan.
Fucking incredible.
Absolutely incredible. So then they like do more SNS greetings, they practice, they give out flyers, they sell goods, and like every time they like say a goodbye message to their fans, but like each night, each goodbye message to their fans are like increasingly haunted. Like one's like, oh, good night, I'm gonna have a great time. The other one's like, oh, good night, I just finished killing all my enemies. You know, things like that, because they're devil idols.
Yeah, of course.
And then after, they're like, wow, we didn't get very many fans from that. And they're like, oh, I guess it's just because we were imagining the situation instead of actually doing it. The end.
Role play.
Role play. And then their lesson time, Sensei just tells them that they should get pets because having a cute pet will show to your fans that you are like a human. And they all show off their pets. Hana has a little chipmunk. Shima has a cat. Ira has a bunny that looks very buff. A buff devil dude bunny, and apparently he's the mascot of the production studio. So there we go.
Like real life?
Like real life production studio.
Alrighty.
There we go. And then for quiz time for this one, the next 4 episodes, all the questions are the same. They just have each individual voice actor respond. So our first one is Sensei responding, and he's average because he's not a professional voice actor. So his weren't that funny, but later on they get good. Next episode.
What episode are we on now?
7.
Okay.
It's not very there's only 12. It's not going to be a long episode. That's why we're putting filler in, folks.
Welcome to our filler arc.
So our next episode, they talk about how as an idol, you need to have like a squeaky clean image. Like if there's anything in your past, it can really mess things up. And thankfully, the 3 of them are all devils. So they have a magic power where they can erase memories from like the world's minds, but only once in their life, right? And they're like, and so Shima's like, well, we have to use our power carefully. What's the worst thing you've ever done so we can remove that from existence, right?
Uh-huh.
And Ira's like, well, I already used my one time. And they're like, what did you use it for? And she's like, one time when I was little, I was at a grocery store and I saw someone that looked like my mom. And then I called out to her and it wasn't my mom. And it was so embarrassing. I erased the memory. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah.
And I was like way too old for it to be like a reasonable thing that I did.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was in like high school. I was like, you're not my mom.
And then like Hana has like a relatively like basically a haunting story, and Shima has dark flame wars on LiveJournal essentially, but they're like, well, we'll just save our thing for when we need it. The end. All right, so now it's lesson time.
Okay.
And this one is one we can participate in.
Okay.
Which is the girls are told by Sensei, like, well, it's really easy to mess up when you're an idol because, like, any little thing can set fans off. So idols have to be really, really good at having an apology, right? So each of the girls are told to apologize for something terrible they did. And so we go through our scenarios. So Ira apologizes because she stuck her finger down an ice cream cone, and she says, I'm so sorry. It was a really horrible thing to do. I should have known better. I'll do next time. I really hurt society. I sent us back. It was a grave mistake. Please forgive me, right? Mm-hmm. And then Shima's like, I got a hamburger. I removed the pickles from it. You think it's horrible. I'm not sorry. I'm done, right?
See you with onions.
And then Hana's like, I'm so sorry. I summoned a magic circle to find Waldo in Where's Waldo. But if you want to know more about me and know that's not who I really am, you can follow me on social media or subscribe to me on YouTube.
Respect the grind.
I have an album coming out soon. It's really great. And hey, look, I got my nails done. Aren't they wonderful? And the audience starts complimenting her back. So, Star, I would like you to apologize.
Okay, what am I apologizing for?
You're apologizing for making a reference to cats in her last video.
Okay, hang on. Sarah, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to play like the sad violin music underneath
Okay,
this.
yes, absolutely. Cue music.
Cue music. Hello everyone. I just wanted to come out and just tell you guys, I know that everyone here who's listened to our last episode has been waiting for me to say something about the horrible, terrible thing that I did on our previous episode. My horrible crime that was not illegal, technically, but did cause so many of you great pain, and that's never what I want to do. That is never what I want to do to our audience. But it is Cursed Idol October, so fuck you! Cats is an idol anime, and I'm not sorry about it. Follow me on YouTube.
Well done, Star. Great apology. Star, what shall I apologize for?
You shall apologize for... See, there's so many things.
I know, there's so many things I should apologize for.
It's like, at any given moment, you know you have, like, this database in your brain, and then as soon as someone asks you to identify a thing, they all disappear. It's like, well, what the fuck? I would like you to apologize for enjoying the piss rainbow outfits from Wake Up Girls.
Hello, everyone. I have been told I need to apologize for liking the Wake Up Girls outfits. I was told that my admiration of them really put a bad light on our Idol podcast because a lot of people think they're really ugly. And, you know, I think that as a society, we need to look deep in ourselves and think about whether or not the words ugly are harmful and hurt other people and other fashion designers. And I think we all really need to apologize, not for the Wake Up Girls outfits, but for our attitude on society. And I think we can all move better, become stronger in the future. Thank you.
You son of a bitch. I knew you were going to pull some shit. Now apologize for liking the wrapping paper outfits from Nijigasaki Love Live. Do that one next. Fuck you.
So, episode 8.
It's funny because I actually do have a YouTube video coming out that is going to, like, the first part of it is gonna be like a fake YouTube apology video for like the first minute and a half.
There you go.
And so I'm practiced in this because I did have to record something like that for a joke in a video. YouTube.com/thestarfishface for whenever that comes out.
And also, side note, speaking of good improv, the end of the last episode, Me Marine, the voice of Umi Love Live, she's the one who does the improv answers at the end, and she's, like, really funny. Like,
yeah.
100%. I would recommend just, like, looking up her interviews and stuff. She's very talented.
We love it.
We're a fan. All right. So now the girls are discussing. They're like, you know how, like, some people, this is episode 8, like, think about, like, if you walk around town and then on the ground, you just see, like, random clothes and it's, like, a black jacket and some motorcycle glasses and, like, a bandana. Like, you know exactly the type of person that wears that, right? And so, like, we need to be like that. We need to have outfits as idols that truly describe who we are as a person so that when they see it at first glance, we're like, we know exactly what kind of idols you are. So we need to come up with outfits that show off exactly who we are, right?
Okay.
So they start talking about different outfits they can make. They're like, idols need to be shiny. So what if we just took a bunch of contact lenses and made an outfit out of that? And they're like, well, what if we wore, like, clothes that were made out of food? And they're like, what about, because, like, there's this American singer that had a dress made out of meat. What if we just did that?
I was thinking about that.
And so they look at Lady Gaga's meat dress, and they're like, we could be just like that, but we could be like sushi. And so then they're like, well, but then there's the problem where, like, do we really want to have meat as our image? And also that American singer who's very famous already did it. And then Ira's like, well, the thing about idols is no matter what you wear, the beauty lives on in their hearts. And idols have these pure hearts, pure angelic hearts like sunlight, and they rise up and they make their audience happier. And Shima's like, we can't be idols like that. We're devils. Sorry. The end.
The end.
So now it's lesson time. The sensei is like, hey, so idols, sometimes they have to take on jobs as news broadcasters. And the reason why they do that is that's a good way for, like, a normal average working salary person to become aware of an idol group and become your friends and be brainwashed by you, right?
Idol brainwashing.
Yes. So we have Ira and Shima. Ira is our host. Shima is reporting in about a barricade situation in a house about some guy who didn't want to go to the dentist, so that the police are trying to break in to bring him to the dentist. And Hana gives the weather report. It's incomprehensible. So, Star.
Yeah.
Could you give us today's sports news, please?
Da-da-da-da-da-ba. Hello, and welcome to Idol Days News Tonight. Our top story, baseball! Back to you, Sarah.
Wonderful, Star. And we will have more on that baseball later. But first, here's something fun from our community. Today, in Idol Days Discord, people are trying to guess what our final Halloween episode will be.
And they're doing their best.
They're doing their best.
Very best.
They're doing their rubesty. Back to you, Star.
Back to you, Sarah.
Back to you, Star.
Back to you, Sarah.
Episode 9. So, episode 9 starts, and Sensei is there. And they're like, Sensei, you're here early in this episode. And he's like, well, yes, because we have more than 4 minutes of the training exercise to do, basically. So successful idols often take on like governmental jobs to so they're doing police chief for a day or mayor for a day. So all of you girls, we're going to have you act as a police chief for the day. And so we start with Shima, our blue one, and she's a police chief for the day. And she's like, I went through the day, I managed traffic, I gave directions, I did safety exercises, I helped direct pedestrians, I was very successful. And then it's Ira's turn, and she's like, well, I'm the police chief for a day, but who gives a shit? If I can't stop the speeders, well, whatever. Fuck the police, I'm outie. Right? And you're like, hey.
I'm outie.
And then Hana goes, and she's like overwhelmed with her list of things. She's like, I need to speed the crossing streets. I don't know how to give a ticket. Ah, right? And she panics. And then the teacher's like, Hana, you did perfect. You had the exact type of moe that idol people want. The rest of you need to work harder.
Perfection.
Perfection. That's all we got.
Okay.
That's that episode.
Fair enough.
So episode 10, randomly in episode 10, apparently the producer of the anime sings the opening instead of the voice actors, and he's not great.
Okay. I mean, you know what? This shitpost of a show, why the hell not?
Yeah, it gets more shitposty. The fan translator in the translate comments just underneath just said, Jesus, this is cursed. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, fan translator.
Cursed Idol October! Pew, 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 pew.
So then the girls are in school, and they're talking about how, like, no matter what, you know how it is, like, if you are told you have to make food for someone's wedding, it's so stressful because no matter what you make for this important event, your food is never going to be as good as their mother's, and it feels like you're just setting yourself up for failure. And in the same way, I feel like the last 8 episodes have been pointless. I feel like we've just been failures. And they're like,
well, it's good that they're self-aware.
And they're like, yeah, I think that the problem is no matter what we're doing, we're just trying to be like normal traditional idols. And maybe what we need to do is like do something different and new and future facing. We should become CG virtual idols.
Oh boy.
And so they're like, what are those? And they're like, well, like there is like a holographic projection and people go to concerts and they like even have like fans and like fan clubs, like, like VTubers, right?
What in the Hatsune Miku Hololive Kizuna Ai is this bullshit?
And then she was like, I've actually been thinking, what if we did go that direction? And Ira, I've been thinking about changing up your look a little. And so she starts messing with Ira's like hair and makeup. And then we see a completely censored out but very obvious Hatsune Miku. And they're like, cut the episode. Then it's lesson time.
That's pretty fucking funny, though.
It's really funny. It's funny. This is a funny show. It's hard to explain, but it was funny. It's also impossible to watch. I'm so sorry. If anyone wants to watch it, it's so hard to find.
Maybe you like covertly drop the ad, like
no,
the URL.
I don't want to because I'm like I did this on like a device I don't use for anything because I'm pretty sure the site is full of viruses. Like, I would not recommend.
That's fair. You know what? We're keeping you safe, listeners at home.
Yeah, so cursed. Then it's lesson time. It's just about how idols have to have stamina. So they all run up a very tall hill, right? Mm-hmm. Shima goes for a bit, but she goes too hard and like just like flies to the top, and Sensei's like, you didn't like make it look like a struggle, it's not cute, right? And then Ira goes and she trips and she like comically rolls down the hill, and then Hana runs, and while she's going up the hill she's making like, the climbing noises, Genshin Impact climbing noises,
like that.
Yeah. And then Sensei's like, perfect, you won.
Yes, the anime exerting effort noises.
Yes, absolutely.
Climb a mountain. Am I moe yet, Sarah?
You're so moe.
Oh my god, thank you!
So moe.
Oh my god.
Then at quiz time, at the end of the episode, this is improv time again. And we've been doing the quiz time every episode. It's just been the same questions every time. But this time, the sensei's like, well, the recent trend for idols is that idols leave their idol career and become voice actors. So you have to act as these characters in the situation. And then all the characters that come up for the girls to act as are like characters they've done in other anime, but just recolored.
Of course.
But again, the voice actors are so good, like completely riff on it. Like 11 out of 10. Would recommend these ladies. Hire them. Get them in more anime.
I love this.
All right, so episode 11 is when they gave up being animated.
Wait, what?
I forgot. So, it starts out, and instead of our
Sarah, you gotta keep it together. I can't understand what you're saying.
Instead of our CG animated characters, they're all paper cutouts on popsicle sticks. And the plot is that they're doing a podcast style episode, so the visuals don't matter.
Oh my, they're coming for our job, Sarah.
Yeah. And they're talking about how next week is episode 12, which is the girls' debut, and what will that be like? And this whole episode is the voice actors, and they are just actually interviewing the director and vice versa about the production of the show. And the sense that they even use their real life names when referring to each other.
Okay.
So they're like, yeah, it was weird when the director sang the opening song, or like, oh yeah, I had a lot of fun like doing these games. What about you, like Yuka-chan? And it's like, oh, that's the actual person.
Yep, they're IRL. They have broken that barrier.
Yep. So that's episode 11.
Okay.
And the whole episode is just a Q&A.
You know what? I respect the hustle.
Like, the power... Like, this show, it looked terrible, and they knew it, and they just went. They just went hard.
They just whole-assed the cursed factor.
Yep. Anyways, it's our last episode of Devidol. Look, we broke an hour. We did it.
We did it! Aren't you proud of us?
We're so proud of us. So it's their day of graduation and they're all at the school and they're like, time flew by so fast. Let's reminisce on the last 11 episodes with little clips to take up time, right? You get the little clips. And then they're like, well, are we about to do it? Our final concert? And teacher's like, Sensei's there. And he's like, well, you have one final job and it's to come up with the name of your unit. And they try to come up with names. Shima comes up with Lovely Heart Sugar Angel, so very cute. But then Ira's like, what about Devidol? Because we're devils and idols. And they're all like, sounds great. I also wrote down in my notes, at this point I became hyper aware of the weird swishing noises whenever they move their outfits. So I guess that was there the whole time, but like every time they move their arms, there was like swish, 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 swish.
Oh, like when you're wearing like a nylon tracksuit?
Yes, exactly.
Whoosh, 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 whoosh. The swooshy pants.
And then we get our concert. And just so you know, it is like the OP song. It's the opening song. But it's like not just the TV opening length. It's the full length, which is the link I sent you. And it's about like 5 minutes long.
Yeah,
so, like,
it is.
So it's like that's a third of our episode is that. Again, the music's good. They talk about, there's like a line I wrote down a translation for. One is, democracy is dead, corrupted by greed, you're all sheep, raise your voices, precious fans. So, yeah, I think they're doing good. Great idol time.
Just unionize, idolers.
Unionize idols, become devils. And so then they all graduate Devil School, and they're like, well, we did it. We graduated. We took over some humans with our idol thrall. So now we get to go to the human world to learn more and take things over. What are your plans for the human world, right? And so basically they all decide to go to Akihabara because it's the mecca for idols. And also it seems like a fun place, right?
Yep.
And so they all go to Akihabara, and that's where, in lore, they end up at the pachinko parlor. The end.
And that's where they've been ever since.
And I guess there's like a bit of a spin-off, but the spin-off is basically just like chibi version promos for the pachinko parlor. That's basically what it is.
Got it. So not really worth talking about.
Not really
show.
a series either. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So yeah, Devidol. I found it. It's cursed, but like I thought it was really funny. Like that's the thing is I was like actually laughing. Largely again, just because the voice actors were really good. Just to reiterate, we have Mimarine, she's Umi Love Live. Yuka Iguchi, she is Lily from Grand Blue, Lucy, Rune Factory 5. And we have Kana Hanazawa, and she is My Zombieland Saga. All three of them, very prolific. They've done more than what I just mentioned. They, you know, like you go to their IMDb page and you have to keep scrolling. So they did a good job. It was really funny.
And I mean, it sounds like they had fun with it.
Yeah, definitely. And like the thing is, like, I don't think this was made to be any sort of moneymaker. I think this was really just like
not.
base promo for this pachinko parlor, and also probably because the studio who made it had these voice actors on hand, you know? But like the thing is, like, it's basically like they're just riffing on idols and idol anime and like anime and Japanese culture, and like it's kind of like our podcast. I feel like if you like our podcast, you might like Devidol, despite how bad it looks.
But it's the forbidden show that you cannot watch.
No, because it's like impossible to find. Again, it's out there. I watched it on a very sketchy website that I would not recommend anyone plugging into on any device that is connected to any sort of password protected account.
Get a burner phone just to watch Devidol and then throw it away.
No, I watch it on an old phone. That's how I did it.
Amazing.
But you know, if you want to find it, I'm sure it's out there for you. I'm not encouraging any illicit activities. I'm just saying it exists in the ether. And I feel like people who like our podcast might like it. Unfortunately or fortunately.
Unfortunately. We are on the same level as Devidol. I hear what you're saying, Sarah. Clearly, we need to both make V-Roid models.
We do. Absolutely.
And we need to just do a stream.
And become friends with Hatsune Miku.
Sarah!
Listening.
April Fool's 2023. You and I both make real shitty V-Roid models, and we do a live watching of Cats.
Oh my god. Yes.
Pitch. This is our pitch.
Love it. I'm here for it.
And we spend the entire time talking about how it's a really good idol anime.
So, will there be more Devidol? Probably not.
Almost certainly not.
Almost certainly not. And further, if there is more Devidol, will I be able to have means to watch it with any sort of translation, fan or otherwise?
Almost certainly not.
Chances are zero.
Because it took, what, 4 years?
Yeah, it took a long time for it to get translated. And I looked up the fan translator. It was somebody who fan translates a lot of VTuber stuff, and I'm guessing that's why they picked up Devidol out of all the things.
Sense.
Yep, so.
That tracks.
That's where we are.
There we go. Love it.
So, Star, do you want to hint at our last episode of the season?
Well, the last episode of the season, I still haven't started watching the show for it yet. So all I really know is what you've told me.
That's true. So for our last episode of Cursed Idol October, one other hint I will give you, which I don't think I said, is it's not fully an idol anime. I would definitely call it an idol adjacent anime. But there are idols in it. So
yeah,
there we go.
It's come out in like the last year, right?
Yes. So look forward to it.
Yeah.
So, Star, if people want to find more information about Idol Days, where can they find us?
We are on Instagram and Twitter at Idol Days Pod. I did the social media before I did the website.
And Star, if they also want to have a website, where do they find us?
idoldays.card.co. That's card with 2 R's.
Wahoo.
idoldays.card.co.
Wahoo.
Or idolluminati.net.
Ay. And on both, we have links to our Discord. Also, in some of the show notes, there should be information about social media. Please go on our Discord, discuss Devidol, I guess.
Maybe don't, actually.
Maybe you'll get lucky and Star will post some of her old AMVs.
If you're very, very nice to me, I will maybe post one.
And please accept my apology for the Wake Up Girls rainbow outfits. I'm so sorry our society has devolved into this.
I will find the absolute scrungliest AMV that I have that's still active on YouTube, and I will place a curse upon our Discord server.
So, happy Curse Style October, everyone. This is Idol Days.
We've been Lady. See you next live.
Bye.
Bye.